Good morning, D&D Davis from LiveWeatherBlocks.com. Student meteorologist here. Overnight edition. Take a look at Igor, Julia, and it's still a chance for Invest 92 to get its act together. If it does, and before it goes across and hits the Yucatan. It's been given some precipitation over Jamaica today. But we'll go into the computer models and all that information momentarily here. We're going to first go into the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center for both Igor and Julia. First, Igor.
Igor, he's just going to western heading. That's why we have this forecast here. I remember, I'm going to go into this little quick story about this. I remember going to New Jersey Emergency Conference.
One thing that I was taught by a mentor to me in tropical weather, Mr. Max Mayfield, is he's past National Hurricane Center director. Never follow the center line on these storms. It's people look at the center line and the dots and they say, "Oh, that's where it's going to be." The effects are wide, much wider with hurricanes. That's why I always say never follow this. Never. Just follow that line in the middle. Make sure you always keep it the opportunity for the storm to make effects over that area that's in the danger zone. But anyway, it brings it up and starts turning this thing west and went northwest quickly, and it brings it up real close to Bermuda now by Saturday. I'll take a look at the models at that data, but the one thing is it could be a little further. There's some models that still want to bring it a little further to the west, and there's some models now that are starting to trend east, but we don't see if it's a trend or if it's just one or two runs that are that way. We should have a better grasp on this definitely by tomorrow or Wednesday on where it looks like it's going to go. But Bermuda is definitely highly likely going to have effects. Direct effects from this, whether it passes to the east or passes to the west. Worst case scenario, it would pass to the west or right over Bermuda as a Cat 2 strong Cat 2, Cat 3 hurricane by the weekend. Now we're going to go into Julia. Julia looks to turn to the northwest and then back to the west northwest and to northwest. And it looks to turn out to be a fish storm. Nothing big and bad about what Julia may do. I mean, there is. I wouldn't downplay the opportunity that Julia, in some models, actually get caught and gets swung back around gets caught because Igor is a much stronger system. But if it's far enough away, it could always get caught and then push back to the west before turning back to the northeast. So that's not totally out of the possibility or a realm of possibilities. But this definitely looks to turn out to the ocean because Igor looks that that'll turn away. That's a much stronger system, and the trough will catch both of them and shift it. Here's the water vapor imagery with the actual overlay of fronts. And one thing that you do notice, look how we've slowed down. This has slowed down a little bit. Igor has slowed down, which means this trough is digging into Igor at this time, which will project it to turn. It's where this turns that is imperative. We also have we also have Julia, which is getting better organized at this time. Also, expected to be a hurricane. Also, but you can see where the trough is digging in here in the north. This trough is now affecting. I can honestly say it is affecting and trying to pick up Igor at this time. Invest 92 still hasn't gotten its act together. Will it get back together before it gets to Belize or the Yucatan? It's hard to say at this point, really. Something we also would have to watch is any kind of thing that fires up along this cold front. If we get any kind of firing up along this cold front, that could also lead to tropical development, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We also have another tropical wave sitting here. Just came out of the Yucatan, so it definitely it's active, but like I said, Igor, he's slowing down. He's breathing nice, but he's also going through an eye wall replacement this time. That's why it's weakened a little bit since the last advisory. But this will look like it's going to get caught by this trough and shifted to the north. The unfortunate part is it'll shift. If it stays on the projected path, it might shift too late, and that will be an issue for Bermuda. Like I said, we're going to look at this divisible. See how it's slowed down, and it's trying to get eyewall replacement. Go through that. That'll bring it down maybe to 135, 140, which is at 140 now, and then keep it at a Cat 4 until it starts making that northerly turn. And you see Julia looks healthy now, but it's going to also make hurricane status, but then weaken back to a tropical storm. But as I said, looking into the, if you looked into the water vapor, you can definitely see where it troughs at, and where it looks like it's going to affect it. The latest computer model runs show a few of them, the GFDL, the GFS, and the GFDL. They all stay to the east now of Bermuda. We have no gap still in UK Met. And ships, they all want to bring it still to the left of Bermuda. And I mean, I have to see some consistency in these runs. Yesterday, the GFS had it over Bermuda. GFDL was a little further to the west. GFDL runs a little further to the east. It's a good model, but it also plays it usually to the east a lot more. And as I said, I'll wait to see a few more models before I make a distinct whether it will hit Bermuda head-on or not. It all depends. I mean, it had a couple wobbles today to the west and the south. But like I said, it slowed up a little bit tonight, and which would allow the trough to catch it and shift it. It's all in timing. That's where it really comes down to. And my thoughts on timing is that it's probably going to get very close to Bermuda. I'm gonna cut these models in the middle, and it's going to either be, I'm thinking, just to the west of Bermuda to maybe like 50 miles to the east of Bermuda. That's where I'm kind of playing around with it right now. If I look at the data and try to analyze it this far out, and it does weaken it to Cat 3, Cat 2 by the time it will get to Bermuda. Even if it stayed on these tracks that the GFS and the GFDL had, there'll be direct impacts as a very large hurricane. So something you got to think about if you live in the country of Bermuda. Severe thunderstorm threat tomorrow. See when it's going to be here from anywhere from Wyoming, cutting back here through Nebraska and southwest of Omaha and parts of Kansas. The most likely idea would be winds, high winds and hail. Isolated shot of tornadoes. I wouldn't be surprised 1 or 2 tornadoes do occur. Davidson risk factor, I would say 80% on the wind, 60% on the hail, and 15% on the tornadoes. I was just thinking that that was not enough, but to say some isolated tornadoes, and I would say 15%. And now on to Wednesday. Go with the same numbers, Davidson risk factor, 80, 60, 15. Just a little further to the east and south, Kansas, Missouri, parts of Iowa, and Nebraska. So, hail and high winds most threat, tornadoes a little less. Now we're going to go, I'm going to pull up a couple of the sounding data for tomorrow. Here's sounding out of Lincoln, Nebraska. You can see here, surface Cape 1878, pretty good Cape, -7 lifting index. That's pretty good lifting index on a pretty good Cape. And the winds do change direction and speed up with height. So, like I said, this would be an area that would be a little more conducive in the severe weather probabilities for tornadic activity. And it does show this actually on the to the right of here on the definitely classic supercell probability. Though more Cape and better lifting index, this is Topeka. This has a little bit less probability of tornadic activity. See, Lincoln has a better shot than Topeka when it comes to that. The speed of height is not as great, and definitely with the changing, we have south to southwest, but that's not like a southeast to a southwest change. So less rotation probabilities in the atmosphere. And now we're going to go on to the Triad and Roanoke Valley forecasts. Valley forecast 84 Tuesday, 83 Wednesday, 85 Thursday, 83 Friday. It looks like we're going to stay sunny and coming into the weekend also with lows around between 55 and 60. And for Triad, 87 Tuesday, 89 close to 90 on Wednesday, 88 Thursday, close to 90 again on Friday. Weekend looks to maybe be pretty nice too, with temperatures getting near 90, overnight lows in the 60s. So keep an eye on Igor for the latest information. Stay with LiveWeatherBlogs.com, and we'll keep you updated on Igor, the severe weather, and the latest on different areas in the country with the weather. This is D.D. Davison, LiveWeatherBlogs.com.